Boom.
Biddly, boy. Yes, yo. Here we go. Ain't nobody down round here. We're going up as champions, bro. You know what time it is. Get that badger. In and on and over here. We had to move back to get his greatness in. We've got no time to be messing about. Got a fair bit to talk about. I want to touch briefly on Monday nights. I thought the electric was atmosphere. The atmosphere was electric. It was absolutely bouncing. Much more of that to come next year. I thought the performance was through the roof. It just sort of dawned on me how well we actually played. 4-0 against a proper decent Bristol City side who are pushing for promotion themselves, could potentially be in the Premier League themselves next year. I'd be up for that on the basis that they're definitely 20th in the league, in the Prem. So then, you know, we're at least 19th. I've said plenty before, and I mean it still. I am not going up with an inferiority complex. I truly believe Facky Fucker, if backed, can go and get the job done. I think if you back him well, I think if the recruitment's right, the style of player that he has, it's not gung-ho, crazy, wild football. It's very strategic. I don't know if diplomatic's the word, but very structured. I don't think he's chaotic. I think he's quite a calm guy. I think he'll keep us in line when we're doing poorly. When we're doing well, he'll keep us heads on his shoulders. I think if we get off to a really good start, I really think the sky's the limit. I'm aiming for 10th on the basis that I don't want to go up next year, saying that it's that we're in straight into a relegation battle. I'm not into it. If we aim for 17th, we'll go down. We have to go up, excited to be up, and believe that we can compete at that level. Because if not, you're coming straight back down. I'm not going up with an inferiority complex. Farker knows that he's got to go and get the job done. What is interesting is all the nonsense that I think it's all dying down now about Farker getting replaced before he goes up. But what is interesting is, like, you know, I've been trying to say this for a while. What would the other manager do that Farker, one, doesn't do? So two, would it be a big change up in play? Would 10th in the league be acceptable from the new manager? Would we be suggesting that Farker Fucker can't get us 10th in the league? Or does the guy come in and, like, we demand Europe? I don't really know where we lie with it. If we end up 15th with a new manager, are we suggesting that Farker couldn't have got that? So I don't know how we'd sort of manage success on that basis with a new manager. That's one thing I've been trying to bang on for quite a while. I just also want to say, guys, for the first time ever, I asked for some subscribers, and my target is 5,000 before the start of the season. And I asked on the video, and I got about 60. So I'm on 4,719. So shout out to everybody that's always subscribed. Shout out to all my new subscribers and stuff. I proper appreciate it. I thought when subscribers were going through the roof, I was like, whoa, might need to rejig the target. But I'm still, you know, the target is still 5,000 because we met reasonable targets around here, don't we? Even if I believe we can finish 10th in the Prem next year. I thought Peruzzi were brilliant on Monday. I thought that turn, Harry Kane style, drops deep, turns, whips it through for Nonto. Really pleased for Nonto to get his goal. I thought the delivery from Solomon was absolutely excellent. He like boomeranged it like a banana ball. He sort of like looped it over for Tanaka. Lovely finish. Ramazani coming off at bench were really positive. There's been some talk from Voldemort that Ramazani is the hidden secret, the best kept secret, the Premier League secret. I don't think he's a secret, is he? I think he's played often enough for us for his not to be, one, our secret, and two, he was at Scum for years but wasn't deemed good enough. So unless we're suggesting that Scum want him back, even though we're probably going to be in competition with them in around 10th next year because they're absolutely terror, you know, I think he'd be better off playing for us than he would Scum. But that being said, you know, I don't think he's going to move to a top tier club. So I think it'd be a move sideways or downwards. And I deem sideways as a foreign club, you know, somewhere in Bundesliga or somewhere back in La Liga or, you know, wherever, where he's playing sort of 8th, 9th in league. I think he's got far better potential with Leeds United in Premier League. I think when we go up, we're going up to stay up. And I think Parag, you know, I'm reluctant to say anything against Parag, you know, because ultimately he's the guy that got us over the line. He's the guy that stepped in and got the job done. A lot been made about him not doing the interview with Sky Sports. They asked him to do an interview on Monday and he didn't do it and stuff. Why would he? You know my feelings on this stuff. Basically, if you never take interviews in the first place, it's not unusual. It's not unusual to not take an interview by anyone. It's not unusual to not take it with anyone. Take it up the bum. It's not unusual to see you cry. Where was I until I started making gestures about Prague taking up the bum potentially, which I'm sure he doesn't, because I'm sure that is a step too far for him for Prague. But yeah, why would he do the interview? He's not. I'm into it when chairmans don't bother doing it. We've obviously had a rejig. It got me thinking, actually. I spoke to my brother about this with Kinnear at the helm or whatever, the CEO or whatever. So what the fuck's that all about, really? Get out the door. Once you're not in the job, get out the job. Because ultimately, what is he doing at this point? He can't be planning for the future. He certainly can't be planning for signings or anything along that line, and any information he's receiving. You just can't be doing that job at that point. Just get out. Do you know what I mean? I don't really understand. I understand that they didn't want to do the rejig while it was all sort of kicking off, but I mean, just on Kinnear, I've got the information here. So obviously, he was the CEO, wasn't he? We now have Robbie Evans, who was previously the Chief Strategy Officer and has now been named Managing Director. He will take significant responsibilities, including overseas recruitment and football analytics. Roles previously handled by Kinnear in part. Evans has been with the club since 2023 and has experience from his time with the San Francisco 49ers. Then we've got Adam Underwood, who's formerly the head of football operations and has been appointed as the club's sporting director, the first since Victor Orta's departure in 2023. Underwood will lead recruitment, player trading, football operations, performance, medical management, and the Leeds United Academy. Additionally, Peter McCormack has been appointed the executive vice chairman in March 2025, but he's not a direct replacement for Kinnear. His role is supporting chairman Parag, who is also not only on the strategic planning, stadium redevelopment, commercial matters. He's also obviously the manager of the football club and makes all the squad decisions. He'll work alongside Kinnear until the end of the season to ensure a smooth transition. This is the bit that I don't get. Just get out, Kinnear. They can work it out from here. I don't know. The club has indicated that it will review its management structure further with no immediate plans to reappoint a new CEO. So, we're off back to sort of like the old way that we had the football club, which is fine. But I just don't know why my man Kinnear's still in there. Kinnear, get out, mate. Your job's done. Do you know what I mean? I don't trust you at this point. Many happy returns, well done. Move on. Get the job done. Also had a bit of a laugh on Just Joe's show last night about the player of the season. Because he thinks it should be Trafford, his favourite ever footballer. He's now a goalkeeping coach. He's my man, Just Joe. So he saved a couple of penalties. Not Just Joe, Trafford saved 2 penalties. And ever since that day, he now holds all the keys to any successful side that's ever been created. So I look forward to Trafford being absolutely dog shit next season, so we can all laugh. Not at Joe, to be fair, because we don't have to laugh at Joe, but we can laugh at the scenario and say Trafford is as bad as the defence now is, because Burnley's defence, when come up against scrutiny, will buckle. That's why we're good at going forward. I don't want us to go up with an inferiority complex and suddenly start trying to defend. We have conceded 14 less goals than that monster Trafford, and we had a keeper that kept throwing it in the back of his own goal. So if we'd have had a keeper that can catch a couple, we would be, you'd argue, we could rival the goals conceded. So our version of defence is just as good, but we get forward as well. So let's keep getting forward. There's ways that we can defend while Bogle and Firpo, I know Firpo's probably moving on, Bogle and Firpo can still bomb on. There's ways we can combat it, and counteract it. People can sit in, Tanaka can do a job, Gruev, players like that can sit a little bit deeper, knowing that them two are sort of going to bomb them. If that's our strength, let's go into the Premier League with our strength. That being said, let's not go ballistic. We're not going to have all the ball, but even when Parag, I meant Farker, even when Farker was terrible at Norwich in the Prem, they still averaged out about 48% possession. That's still pretty decent. We're talking as though we're never going to get a touch of the ball in the Premier League. We are Leeds United. We are off up to stay up, and within 3 years, we'll have a title on his hands, not a title, a cup, or we'll be sat in Europe, even if it's in that shit Conference League thing. I'll take it. We're in, we're on, we're over, we're up for it. We're going up. Big parade, obviously, on Monday, which we'll talk about as the week progresses. Obviously, we've got a big game on Saturday that I want to get won, get that 100 points, beat them 7-0, get 100 goals scored, bing, bang, boom. Voldemort's an idiot.
Boom.